You ever walk into a house that feels off? Not just creaky floorboard, drafty window, smells like death kind of off. I'm talking serious goosebumps on your goosebumps. Whispering in the walls, grandma's eyes just blinked and she's been dead 5 years kind of off. Yeah, that's the kind of place I moved into. And no, I wasn't forced. I chose this nightmare shack. Why? Because I'm cheap. And apparently allergic to good decisions. It started when I found this listing online. Charming vintage Victorian, needs TLC, no HOA, no questions asked, 200 month. $200. That should have been the first red flag. But broke me, I thought, what a steal. Spoiler alert, it was a steal of my sanity. I moved in on a Tuesday because, ghosts rest on Mondays. Union rules or whatever. The house sat at the very edge of town, in a place locals called Hollow's End, which sounds exactly as welcoming as a pit full of rattlesnakes and unpaid parking tickets. It was one of those houses that looked like it was always frowning. The windows sagged, the porch groaned, and the paint peeled like it was trying to run away. I walked in with a suitcase, a frozen pizza, and way too much confidence. The first weird thing happened not 5 minutes in. I set my bag down and heard this low woo sound, kind of like a dying whale if the whale had asthma and emotional trauma. I turned around, and there it was. Hovering, transparent, floaty, a ghost. Wearing what looked like a powdered wig, a colonial vest, and the most offended expression I've ever seen on a dead person. Ahem, he said, yes, said. Loud, clear, and with the dignity of a man who once paid too much for jam at a Renaissance fair. You are trespassing in my abode, knave. Knave? Did this ghost just call me Nav? Now, I don't scare easily. I've been to Walmart at midnight. I've seen my aunt's meatloaf. But I'll admit, I jumped. Spilled the pizza. Cursed out loud. Might have wet myself. Not confirming or denying that last part. I backed up and stammered something like, I didn't know anyone still lived here. And the ghost floated there, arms crossed, judging me like I just said pineapple belongs on pizza. I haunt here, he said. I am Sir Reginald Disselwick III, former owner, war veteran, and certified haunter of this household. And then, he sneezed. A ghost sneezed. His powdered wig poofed sideways and everything. It was the most unscary thing I'd ever seen. I stared at him, and before I could stop myself, I laughed. Not a chuckle, not a polite giggle. A full-on, doubled-over snorting laugh. The ghost blinked, then blinked again. Are you laughing at me? He asked. I nodded, still wheezing. He looked offended, genuinely hurt, like I'd insulted his ghostly grandma's pie. Senior, he said, I have terrified generations. I have made grown men weep. I once made a bishop flee naked into the snow. And you laugh? I wiped my eyes and said, look, Reginald, can I call you Reggie? He gasped like I'd slapped him with a fish. No, you may not. Cool, Reggie, so here's the deal. I'm broke. You're bored. I think we can work something out. And that, dear listener, is how I began living with a ghost. A ghost who was apparently suffering a crisis of confidence. Because as it turned out, Sir Reginald couldn't scare for crap.